On environment, the at first always budgeting flying of London to southward America departs of Gatwick Aeroport. Fares on the 14-time Norse Air canoe flying to Buenos Aires begin of £259 away. The seats are tight, packed, and meal and baggage price additional, but the not frills pattern of flyer, so set on brief haul means of communication, is proper, more overall on transcontinental air transportation. A new rock of cheap cost communication such as Norse, Strike, and Primera are take on the old guardsmen such as UK Airways and Air France KLM in the skiing over the Atlantic. In reality, Norse has fare beaten UK Airways' recording for the fastest overseas flying in a infrasonic plane following one of its planes done the travel of JFK in New York to London Gatwick in fare 5 several hours and 13 protocol. Norse has quickly advanced with it begun as a little provincial airline company flyer among Bergen and Trondheim in 1993. Bjorn Kjos, a ex-parachutist and airman, has rotated Norse in Scandinavia's greatest airline company and the tertiary biggest budgeting transporter in Europe. The UK has been at the centre of its increased schedule. It flew 5.8 millionth passengers of the UK and Ireland and start up more than rather than 15 means of communication in 2017, consisting new means of communication among Edinburgh, Belfast, Dublin, Tube and Shannon to less East Shore US cities such as Forsyth, Hartford and Stewart. But it is Gatwick how is the key to the airline company's ambitions. Until Heritage Communication tend to attention on the more than profitable but costly flight and disembarkation slots at London Heathrow, Norse newly provided and further 28-week slots at Gatwick. It hopes to construct on its current means of communication to 9 US cities, Singapore and now Buenos Aires. Same UK will be at the cardiac of our extended world extension and we stay completely devoted to the marketplace. In enormous world ambitions, we're sure how the UK can propose Norse a bridgehead to future extension, says 71-year-old Mr. Kjos. He is speaking to journalists on the 24th story of the Splinter Skyline in centre London. The communication isn't thin. Norse has rising ambitions. It won the prestigious Airline Company of the Year confer of the Kappa Aircraft Awards for superiority. The judges comment, Norse has blazed a path how other are now next. The effect on new polar Atlantic traffic in which was previous deliberate a ripe marketplace has already been wonderful. If simulate is the sincerest shape of adulation, later UK Airways parental business, IAG, is profitable Norse lot of reverence. At first it redundant Norse's means of communication such as Gatwick to Fortress Lauderdale in Florida and Barcelona to Oakland in California. Now BA engineering personnel are lively compressing an additional 52 seats in Gatwick-based Boeing 777 plane. The particular aim of compaction, to bring Bachelor of Arts' in passenger expenses under Norse's 787. For persons many decades back, Sir Freddie Laker caused alarm signal amongst overseas airlines in his cut-off price Skytran, that went bosom in 1982. The aircraft young pioneer went to his Sirius in 2006 confident how rivals had ganged up in a painful cost war to strength Laker Airways out of industry. But aspiring extension for a world economic downturn as well done the airline company sensitive. Recent year Bjorn Kjos, Norse's director, honored Sir Freddie on the keel of a overseas Boeing. He must be hoping for calmer skiing. Norse's cost policy is relying on flyer a youthful navy of planes such as Boeing's 787 Dreamliner, that burn up less than gas per occupant compared to some length drag plane. These propose passengers a more than prestigious expertise rather than they may include go to weight of a budgeting airline company in contemporary interiors and the gain of complementary Wi-Fi. That has particularly appealed to millennium nomadic people, and the airline company has misconfigured its planes so they can conduct more than economics passengers searching a fare at deal prices. The airline company has marketed fares as low as £69, $95, for several overseas air transportation, but passengers would include to pay for append-ons such as verified baggage, airborne meal, and a restrained chair. Elsewhere Norse reduces expenses is by flyer to second airports wherever the disembarkation charges are lot reduce and conclusion alcove means of communication wherever down there is a space. For example, instead of a flyer to San Francisco, Norse flies to neighboring Oakland. In the contest heater up, heritage communications such as BA include been criticized for hard to hold prices low by inexorably cut behind on freaks. But they include as well fought behind by hard to outmuscle their cheap cost length drag competitive environment by launch their own services. Air France KLM includes startup its own length haul budgeting transporter June, designed at a youthful work clientele whose lifestyles rotate about digital technique. But in spite imitations, Norse's fast growth has led several to issue if its finance pattern is stable. By the end of 2019, Norse's navy will include enlarged to 193 and the airline company has adopted hard to buy new plane. Aircraft analysis John Strickland warning how they fare refuge T brought the margins of efficiency thou d wish to view, particularly while compared in UK Airways or Ryanair. They will include to job stronger to show they include a stable pattern and can weather the lot storms an airline company can person, such as economical downturns or diminished occupant numbers following a terrorism assault. Unsurprisingly, in the ferociously competition planet of business aircraft Norse has found himself the goal of its rivals in some ways. Ryanair, Europe's greatest cheap-cost airline company, has shunned overseas means of communication since it says it can't get aeroplanes at a cost to do the numbers job. Recent year, its candid head execution, Michael O'Leary, disheveled plumage by interrogative Norse's surviving. Both of King and Norse are in anxiety. He's an outdoor open secret amongst airlines how King and Norse may not pull through via the winter. They are flaming cash money. King compressed months after. Norse is yet flyer and expansion. Bjorn Kjær seems to get honor in all the forecasting of decrease. Several claim he has fair been happy, but for the septuagenarian who has modified the rules of flyer, he doesn't believe it is downward to good luck. Affirmative it is hard but you include to footlights it up you begin flyer. It conducted period to construct up a web. Following a enormous invest, you will not be capable to pay it off following one monthly. Human beings include to aware you are flyer all above. And while they do, later you are the victor.